So just for moving on to our quick tech tips this week, I think Sean and Daniel have some tips prepared for us in relation to using the Rotor in VoiceOver, and also a gesture for navigating headings with TalkBack on Android devices.
That's correct, JP. So like we were discussing last week about navigating and like swiping from left to right, I suppose like for people who are familiar with screen reader users, that's kind of like akin to tabbing and shift tabbing. So swipe left is tab, and swipe from left to right is tab, and swipe from right to left is like shift tab. So like, and you're moving through the elements on the screen. So if you're on a website, you know at the start they have lots and lots of menus, and you're in and out of them before you get to the body of the text, or before you get to the first heading in the text. So if you're a screen reader user on a keyboard, we know we press H to go to heading, and we can jump straight to that heading. So on an iPhone, we can also do that by turning the rotor. So it's putting two fingers on the screen and turning as if you're turning a radio dial. And that will move from the selectable elements. So it might say like headings, links, speaking rate, and whatever one you land on will be the next item when you swipe up or down. So if I turn the rotor to headings and I'm on a website and I swipe down, I will jump to the next heading. If I swipe down again, I'll jump to the heading after that. If I swipe up, then I'll jump to the previous heading. So moving the rotor, it's like turning a dial on the screen. It takes a bit of practice. It's two fingers and you turn, and the fingers move in opposite directions slightly, just as if you were holding a real radio dial. And that will turn the rotor, and the rotor will have different options for depending on which app you have open. Like you could set the containers, and it would jump to the containers in the website, like tabs and maybe like calendar items and things like that. Depends on what way the website's laid out. But then Android have a similar process, but slightly different. So while swiping left, right, and Android is the same as tabbing and shift tabbing, there's no rotor on the Android. So when you swipe up or down, you move through a list. So if I swipe up, it'll say like links. So if I swipe up again, it'll be headings. So if I swipe up again, it could be containers. So if I swiped up until I heard headings, now swiping left to right will move through headings. I then have to swipe up and down again to get back to normal navigation. So it's an extra step in Android, but once you're used to it, it's very quick. But the rotor, whatever you leave the rotor on last within that app, it'll remember. So if it's on headings, it'll stay in headings. While on Android, I have to go back to swiping up or down to go back to the normal navigation.
Right.
So it's a very useful thing for speeding up navigation throughout websites, because like I said, you could be at the top of a website and you have to, before you get to the news item, you have to swipe 30 times to go through every menu item that's there. Yeah. While I know if I can swipe down, go straight to a heading.
Great. Okay, so it could save us a lot of time.
That's what it's all about. Yeah, absolutely. Just get more efficient moving through the information.
Awesome. Thanks, Sean.